You don't need a perfect life to be strong. You need a trained mind, a mind that can weather storms and remain still when the world shakes. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers of ancient Rome, once wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." In this single line, he gives us the foundation of all mental toughness. We don't become strong despite adversity. We become strong because of it. Welcome to Whispers of Wisdom. Today, we journey deep into the mind of Seneca and uncover how to build unshakable inner strength. Not through hype, not through fantasy, but through timeless wisdom, proven over 2,000 years. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Embrace the discomfort. Seneca believed that comfort is a silent poison, one that dulls the senses, weakens the will, and makes you fragile without ever realizing it. He said, "We should discipline ourselves in small things, and from these progress to things of greater value." So what does that mean today? It means choose discomfort voluntarily. Take cold showers, fast for a day, sleep on the floor, disconnect from luxury, train in simplicity. Not because it's trendy, but because it trains your mind to stop depending on comfort. Every small hardship you embrace teaches your brain, "I do not fear this." You become familiar with pain, and what we become familiar with loses its power over us. Chapter 2. Practice voluntary hardship. Seneca wasn't just a writer. He lived what he preached. Born into wealth, influence, and power, yet he regularly chose to live as if he had nothing. He advised, "Set aside a number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, 'Is this the condition that I feared?'" Pause and imagine that. A man who had everything willingly walked through the fire of nothingness, not because he had to, but because he chose to master fear. Ask yourself, when was the last time you deliberately made life harder to grow stronger? Modern society trains us to avoid all pain, but Stoicism teaches the opposite. Seek small, voluntary hardships to inoculate the soul. Because when true suffering knocks on your door, it won't feel foreign. It won't break you. It will simply feel like training. Chapter 3. Control what you can. Let go of the rest. One of Seneca's most powerful teachings is this: we suffer more in imagination than in reality. How often do we worry about things that haven't happened? Replay conversations that didn't matter? Obsess over futures we can't control.
You don't control the past. You don't control most outcomes. And that's okay. Let go and focus. There is power in surrender, not weakness. Power. The strongest minds are those that know when to let go. Chapter 4. Daily reflection is your weapon. Seneca wrote letters almost daily. He journaled. He questioned himself. He didn't seek perfection. He sought progress. At the end of each day, he would sit in silence and ask, "What did I do well today? Where did I fail? What can I do better tomorrow?" He said, "When the light has been removed and my wife has fallen silent, I examine my entire day and go back over what I've done and said, hiding nothing from myself." This habit, this quiet evening audit, is where your true power begins. Why? Because without reflection, there is no direction. You stumble through life, unaware, reacting instead of acting, repeating instead of growing. But with just 10 minutes of honest reflection each night, You slowly become your own philosopher, your own teacher, your own compass. You become aware, and awareness leads to mastery. Chapter 5. Master the present moment. Seneca warned about living in the past. He warned about fearing the future. He believed the present moment, the now, was all we truly owned. True happiness, he said, is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. Think about how often your mind drifts. You're here, but you're also in 2007. You're here, but you're worried about what might happen next week. That's mental fragmentation. Strength, true strength, comes from anchoring yourself fully to now. Try this. Take a breath. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice the space around you. And ask yourself, what is this moment teaching me? Because when you live in the present, you don't just reduce anxiety, you become whole again. And wholeness is where strength begins. Chapter 6. Train in misfortune. Seneca once said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." What a radical idea that struggle is not a curse, it's a test, a chance, a sacred opportunity. The Stoic doesn't run from misfortune, they meet it like an athlete meets resistance in training, with resolve, with focus, with determination. You don't need to want suffering, but you must learn to welcome it when it arrives. You stop fearing life. You stop wasting time. You stop delaying dreams. You start saying, "I love you," more often. You begin. Seneca believed that each day was a gift, not a given, and that remembering death was the fastest way to live fully. You want inner strength? Live like you have nothing to lose, because in the end, you don't. Final reflections. Seneca's world was filled with chaos, corruption, exile, death. But through it all, he remained centered. Not because the world was calm, but because he was. You can build that same strength right now, in your room, in your routine, in your habits, through voluntary discomfort, through reflection, through present moment awareness, through training your mind, just as Seneca trained his. This strength is not loud, it's not dramatic, it's quiet, calm, stoic, and it's available to you every single day. So begin now with one breath, one act of courage, one moment of awareness, and keep going, because the stronger your mind becomes, the more unshakable your life will be.